So something has been weighing on me with regard to social consumption, and it is too much for a Twitter thread. So I thought, let me just make like a 5-minute video and put it out there. So as you may know, the House and the Senate have both passed an excellent cannabis equity bill in Massachusetts. And part of it was to fix a technical error that was not allowing municipalities to allow social consumption, which was holding up the whole program. So both bills have fixed this. If you saw reactions, including from me, they said social consumption is really important. It's a really great thing. And this bill will allow it to move forward. And the commission already has regulations in place. So all of that is true. And if you're just a casual observer, that's really all you need to know. And I think you can stop watching here. However, if you are someone who is really interested in social consumption, I need to color that a bit. With what happened. It all played out in public, but it was years ago. And so I think it's like being collectively forgotten. And I feel like if I don't remind people of this, it could cause some harm. So the bottom line is that those social consumption regulations that are currently in place are not good. They are not equitable, definitely, and they are probably not even workable, I would say. So what happened was, at the time, a few years ago, there was a working group with me and the chairman and representatives from different municipalities that were interested in social consumption, Somerville, Springfield, Amherst, Provincetown, sorry if I'm forgetting anyone, and looked at what we all wanted social consumption to look like, wrote a memo, submitted that to the commission. Then it was time for the commission to vote. So 5 people who vote in public, 2 of them said absolutely not to social consumption, no matter what it looks like. So then it became, how do we get the other 3 votes? And so in summary, in order to get all 3 votes, the social consumption regulations are extremely restrictive. And I can share my thought process, which I was open about at the time. If you know me, I'm always thinking 5 years ahead. And so I was thinking it's better to get the 3 votes, no matter how restrictive it is, so it passes. And then we can start working on the state bill, which now, hopefully will be law soon. And then we can at least move forward, versus I think the alternative is if the commission had voted no on social consumption, I think it would have been a non-starter forever, because it would have been seen as like this very radical thing, that the inaugural commission had voted down. So what happened was, what actually passed does not allow event licenses, which I think is the most important and wonderful thing, that the exclusivity we currently have in place for equity applicants and economic empowerment applicants who would have exclusive access to social consumption licenses for the first 3 years, that's what they would ideally be able to take advantage of, right? Because you could have like a huge outdoor event in the summer. They have those in other states, namely California. But we don't have that at all in our regulations. There's no smoking indoors allowed, only vaping, and then vaping with pretty extreme ventilation requirements, which may be appropriate. I'm not saying they're not, but they would be extremely expensive to comply with. And regardless of what you do with ventilation, you still need to prohibit smoking indoors. You also need to have a separate area for employees so they can watch the people who are consuming. I don't know about edibles. I'm going to guess from the way that regulations have been interpreted in the past that you may not be able to prepare food at all and serve it to the people in the establishment. So for a lot of reasons, I think that the social consumption regulations are unworkable. I definitely do not endorse them. So if you kind of remember me leading on the social consumption regulations, don't take that to mean that they're good. They are not good. And I wanted to make sure I put that out there. And so if this bill does pass, and I hope it does, that means the social consumption pilot program can move forward. Those regulations have to be changed. And I think that if they were reevaluated currently with the information we currently have with all of the states that have social consumption, they would come out a lot better. Also, the lessons that have probably been learned from delivery exclusivity, whereas at the time, I think there were only a couple of states that had operating social consumption. And so there's just a lot more stigma, it was a lot more restrictive at the time. And so I need to put it out there that I don't endorse those regulations, and I think they need to be updated. I just want to make sure people know that.